Let me just share my screen. I think that option is disabled, so I can't share my screen. Okay, so I will share that link for that notebook which we are trying in that Google Collaborative notebook using that text to speech model from Hugging Faces, and we are using Torch Audio library. Yeah, so
Yes, I have
that
given you access.
sorry,
I have given you access. You
come
can
again.
share the screen.
Okay, okay, sure. Let me try it. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see the screen.
Yeah, so this is the slide I am showcasing. So this is the notebook which we have shared in channel also. Let me open that. Yeah, so this is the notebook we are trying. Like in different languages, Spanish, English, and
So you can just take a text data set related to soft skills, such as communication skill or recipes, right? So
yeah,
that in terms of paragraphs and just input to the system and get the voice data.
yeah.
Have you done any research on this text to speech apart from this?
Yeah, we were doing some research on online, like we were looking at multiple Hugging Faces model and those kind of reading some like blogs. So it's going on for now.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have like here Hugging Faces library. There are multiple models. So we will try some from there and we'll see which one is giving better result.
Okay.
Yeah, and this.
So yes, Basant, any suggestion you want to give for the task one team? So they are just checking the speech, brain, and DeFi models and KTS models from Hugging Face and Google. Right? So do you agree?
Hugging Face is a good place to start. I think they better start checking each model because from my experience with Hugging Face model is that some of them may not run on Colab very well because the size of the models and amount of time they take to
Yeah,
such a kind of a conversions. It's better to start coding in Collab and checking each one because uh, from my experience with Hugging Face is that normally some of the models which they provide do not will not be having any kind of a docs to really work with them. So sooner is the better, means if they find it earlier, so that they can discard it in the early stage instead of waiting for a long time and then, okay, this was what we were thinking, this will work and this is not working now. This is always going to happen. Yeah, if you are going with the Hugging Face, nice and good. Better to check all the models, discard one which doesn't fit our need.
Needs, right. We have also looking at this library also from PyTorch, Torch IDEO. So we are trying to understand how this works, like what are the models and like functions are there to use that. So we are working on that also, reading through the documentation.
Do they have any models which means pre-trained models which are which can be useful for the like text to audio kind of a thing?
That I have not checked. So we'll check and let you know if there is any pre-trained model or we have to train the model.
Yeah, no, you guys cannot train any model of this kind because from my
Yeah,
experience, they take a lot of, you need a lot of data, first thing. And also the amount of GPU you need to train such things will not be available with us because Collab will provide very limited this one, and even you can only train it for 12 hours. And these models may take more than 12 hours to run on,
yeah,
even on the Collab also. So
right.
fine tuning is the approach to go, and you need to check. That's what my suggestion is, to check it as early as possible, these models, and
Yeah,
try to leverage what they have done. And if you want to fine tune it, then you need to find the data also. Like, for example, for what data you are trying to do it, because fine tuning is also a really what is that?
yeah, really
Heavy
like
work for
heavy
the,
work. Correct.
yeah, for the GPU related things. So it better sooner you select the model or sooner you select the approach, it is better for you guys to work with them. And I'm not quite sure about the Torch Audio. Maybe the Torch Audio is providing, maybe it is providing the models. I never explored that one. Uh, I think whatever the models they provide will be more models available in the Hugging Face. Like Hugging Face is a
Yeah,
play.
kind of hub for the
Yeah,
models.
a lot of models. Torch
Lot
Audio
of
is
models
limited
are there.
because they are a company and they want to make sure that the models which are like state of art, like for example, if you go to the vision, computer vision, ResNet, and also
Yeah,
these basic state of the art models which have proved that they are like the top in their field, and they have been the stepping stone or milestone for any kind of a this one, and even people still use them. Such a kind models they will always incorporate with them. Beyond that, they don't go for that one. For example, if you go for YOLO is not in the Hugging Face uh, details because YOLO has their own website and they maintain their own approaches. And yeah,
yeah,
so there is some differences are there. So you guys need to check it, and it's better you choose the model as early as possible. And
sure,
uh, better approach is to list down the models and means make a Google sheet. That will be quite easier, and see each one which one is working, which one is not working, so that you guys can go fast process to that one. Yeah.
sure. We will try to close this one.
Yeah. And also, for example, normally, I don't know, the kind of a voice normally from going from text to audio is kind of a, you need a person's voice behind of to
Yeah,
that one.
we need some kind of persona and
Yeah,
speech
it's a female
in
voice or male
voice.
voice, you may have to
Yeah,
decide. The one of the, if you able to decide the model, it's a quite challenging for you guys to make it to a particular person. Like for example, there is a one speaker who speaks very well. You find it on the YouTube, like a English, which is spoken by an American and a British and an Indian, are three different kind of a what is that
Yeah, accent.
slangs? Yeah, the slang or
Yeah,
accents. Yeah, accents.
yeah,
Uh, I think it's quite challenging for you guys to check for an Indian accent so that the audio is well suited for the Indian audience. Something like that. You guys can work on it.
right.
And also for fun sake, you guys can do it for the other people also.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it from our side to showcase. So we will try that, and we will try to list down the models which is working or not working, and we will try to make some like persona kind of thing, and how much speed we need to take, how much ascent, what kind of ascent we need to take. So we will try to close that as soon as possible. Yeah.
Okay, yes. So then task two team.
Hi, yeah, yeah, I'm audible.
Yes, Akhil.
Sorry, I was facing some issues with mic earlier. So on task two, we haven't actually collaborated and started anything yet. We have a call in 1 hour, so we're probably going to discuss what approaches we can take. But as Basant mentioned, it would be probably impossible to train a new model. So first thing we can do is like find the existing models, like you mentioned. And Basant, what was your take on fine tuning the models? Can you tell that again?
Fine tuning model means you need for the data means first you need a
Yeah,
data to do that one. For example, especially the slang or the slang, it's specific like as I said, American accent, yeah, accent, American and British or Indian accent. For that,
yeah,
I think you may have to fine tune because probably the model which they have trained is from a recordings which are based upon like for example American accent or a British accent. They may not be tuned for the Indian accent. So the model may not able to capture all the words or all the things which a Indian way speaking happens. Probably that is quite a challenge for you guys. You guys can try that space for the fine tuning. Again, you need a data and you may have to go to the means it is trained on the audio, not on the text. Remember, it's a
yeah.
different. Yeah. Okay.
Uh, just I have a question on this.
Yeah.
So I think when we do text to speech, we are going from English to English, right? So
Yeah.
when we do speech translation, what language are we targeting? Like if we have anything in mind, because from English, are we targeting any specific language or are we going to be open about all the languages? So I'm not sure about it.
I think
Yeah, yeah,
with the models
yeah,
available, probably English is quite largely available. Other languages like European languages may be largely available. Means there are multilingual models. It's better to stick it to the English to English only for the time being, because you guys are new in exploring this one, and if you try to search for the means go for the Indian languages or any other languages, you may get stuck in that loop itself. I don't want you guys to stuck in that loop because at the end of the 4 week, you may have to complete this project. And the time may not be sufficient for such a exploration. This is my experience from the previous Omodena meeting, and even I know how much time it takes to train a model and all those things. So it's better to stick to English only. And if you guys want to take it up a challenge as by yourself, then you guys can explore more on that direction. Yeah, that's
so
yeah.
just a question, like when you say English to English, like we want to translate from American English to Indian English, something like that.
Yeah, the assent of the final speech is very important, right? For
Right. Yeah.
example, yeah, the model which they have trained probably is on American English or Britain English. I don't know which one they might have done it. Means it depends upon what kind of a data they have fed into the model. The model will just take the whatever the data they feed in, and then based upon that one, that will be output the this one. Yeah, it's quite challenging to make. For example, making a deep voice of a person or a female voice and male voice I don't know how they have done it. Really, maybe the model does have that kind of a what is that options where you can choose between male and female voice. I don't know really. You guys need to explore all those things. I think that will take a time, and I that's why I said you guys. Uh, uh, it's better to converge or choose the model which you guys want to work on as early as possible, so that you guys can explore more on that direction. Because nowadays it's not about the model building, especially these kind of models you cannot really build. They are they take a lot of resources, like computational resources, and we don't have that one. But something which building on top of that one is itself is a challenge by itself. And I think that would be a very good experience for you guys to how to work on something which is already there and fine tune or do something which is mold for our purpose, something like that. This is very quite good example. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Basan. As Basan said, you can divide the task into subtasks. Okay, so first try to check the model, and then you go for uh, the gender recognition or converting for a different set of gender. And then also if you want to work for Indian and conversion or any multilingual. So we can also create that subtask. So create subtask in priority device and divide.
So like yeah, we can create two subtasks probably. First to convert it from American English to Indian English, because we might be targeting Indian audience. The second would be multilingual. So Vasanta had a question. When we say multilingual, do you know if we can build a model that can work with all the languages, or do we need specific data to train like or push the model in that way?
You need the data for that one. For every model, means normally when they train a model, they take the data corresponding to, for example, if they are doing it for a French, then French has their own vocabulary or the way of, means it needs a conversion from English to the French first, and from the French, then it goes to the as speech, this one. And the speech synthesizer or the speech thing or audio thing doesn't recognize this between English and French. It doesn't know, it doesn't differentiate, but there is a translation thing in the middle which does the transition, like from English to French or something. That's quite important how well it does, so that from whatever you feed into the this model, it will do the better job. And also the kind of a pronunciation the model does, that's also becomes very important. Like for example, whatever the pronunciation they do in English may not be quite well for the other languages. Like if you go to Arabic languages, they need a quite different kind of a sounding in their this, this, this sounding in their words. I don't know whether they will be included or not. So I think that's a way, that's the part where you guys can really put an effort and find it, what is the right way to do it, or can we do it or not? Because again, it's a fine tuning. It's not the rebuilding the model. You are fine tuning means you take the existing model and you take the data and you make sure that you fine tune for that one. My feeling is that from what I know from the speech to text, it's the reverse of that one. It takes a lot of effort to, means it takes a lot of computational power to do that kind of a training, even fine tuning. Probably this will also have the similar roadblock for us. It's again an exploration. We are not an expert in this field. Again, everything we need to check it and make sure that we try it once and see that what are the roadblocks we have and how can we overcome all those things. I think, yeah, for that one, you guys first have to select the model which you guys want to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we say we want to do it multilingual, yeah, do we have any language in mind, or it's gonna be general, like with a model which can work with all the languages? Maybe that could be difficult, but if we have any specific language, maybe we can think of doing the fine tuning if we get the data.
So as Basan mentioned, right, for every model, for every language, we require a set of vocabulary and set of data
Yeah,
to be trained on. So
yeah,
we do not have data for each language
yeah,
existing. So
right.
we initially focus on one language, English to English. If that works
Okay,
fine, we can then look for French, Spanish, or any Indian language.
yeah, that sounds good. So our task will be to do this American English to Indian English. Probably we can check with the task one team if they're going to target American English or British English, so that we can build on top of that, if that makes sense.
Okay, so yes, communicate with them and yes, Basan.
Yeah, I couldn't get the question. That's why.
Uh, Actually, like what I mentioned, what I was trying to say is that I think what will do is that first we will do text to speech, and that speech will be converted to a different speech. For example, if the text to speech team converts the text to in American English, then we will have to convert this American English into Indian English. Is that right? Or those are two different, totally separate modules?
Those are separate. For example, first you try a model, you supply, means you give a English text to it and see that how well it does. And then means that's the important part you guys need to check. Means you need to try different, for example, different words. How do they do? Means even there might be limitations of that model. You need to find it. And then how can you fine tune the same model for the different accent? This is the part where speech synthesizer, I don't know, voice conversion, something should be there in that part of the model, because these ASR models are not single units like a computer vision where you have a ResNet and you supply the image in and you get the image out, something like that. It doesn't happen here especially in the speech, because speech is a multi-step process. Like if you want to convert any speech from sound file to a text itself, it takes a 2 to 3 process, like diarization and a transcript. I forgot that word. Transcriptions, they call it as. See, it's not this simple like one stages. There are several stages. Similarly, if you go from text to speech, you need to create that speech itself. Means going that process from text to speech is not going to be simple like a one-step process. Like probably you may have to do a like a speech translation or speech synthesis, and speech enhancement. Maybe there are different units in the mid in this process or intermediate process. You need to check which part is relevant to us for the fine tuning, or which part which we are going to tweak, so that we can get what we wanted. That's why you have to check the model. Models are not like so simple here. They are quite complicated in comparison to the computer vision. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Yeah, thanks, Vasant. So yeah, we'll add this. We have a call in an hour, so we'll discuss this there.
Yes, yes, Anil. Just any update from task 3 team?
So regarding task 3, we haven't had a meeting yet, but I have a few questions regarding the task. So what do we mean here by video processing? Do we mean here by video processing to extract features of the person, like how his lips are moving? Like I'm just giving an example. What are his emotions while saying? Do we mean that, or like what exactly do we mean by video processing here in task
So
3?
it means, yes, it means like generating a dummy video. It might be any person
Okay,
generating a video
okay,
that is speaking the audio.
okay. So the video that we will generate will be merged with the second task to test to speech one, and then that will be the final output to the person.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, regarding this, I'll do the research because we haven't had a call yet. So I'll let you know. Yeah.
Yes. So I just want to include here one thing like the
Yeah.
complete set of tasks 1, 2, 3 we are working is a generative AI type application output. So
Yeah.
where we try to give input as text, it will convert in the audio, and then it will generate a video which will speak on the text.
Okay.
Any questions? Utkarsh? Utkarsh? So
Yeah, can you repeat this flow again?
yes. So as I said, this is a generative AI application which we actually thought of like before 6 months ago in September, not September, in February. But this project get delayed and yeah, as ChatGPT came into picture and newer applications and with GPT for happening, like multimodal. So multimodal is nothing but it's an application of generative AI. A form of data can be interpreted it into any form, any modes. It might be audio, it might be video. If video form of data can be converted into audio or text, any form, multimodal and multilingual. So this kind of set of conversion using an application is known as generative AI application. So our project is also dealing with generative AI application, which has multimodal and multilingual approach. So multilingual is nothing but multilingual deals with the language part. Multimodal will deal with the forms of the data, text format, image format, audio format, video format. Yes, Basant, we can add something.
Yeah, probably it's quite extension you guys can do it if you guys able to work with the text to speech. The generative AI means you can use the chat GPT itself for that one. I don't have any issues with that one. Means if you ask a question, the chat GPT will give you answer. Now it is text to text, means you input the text, it will give you a text back. Um, you can go ahead, means the complete pipeline is quite extensive, as I said, means you talk with a, means it's like you are talking with an AI robot itself. You talk with this model in terms of your language, means like English. It will give you back the reply in English, like for example, audio to audio. It's like you are going from audio and you are outputting an audio, but here the conversation level, like the way we speak right now, like you guys ask questions, I answer them, something like that. Yeah, it's quite extensive. I don't see that it's going to possible in this 4 week, but you guys can make an extension to existing one just by um, like whatever you input text, it outputs in terms of audio, and video is the addition. Like you have to figure out how the means person looks. For example, we know that somebody who has a video, like for example, if we see somebody speaking on like YouTube video, we know that the figure of that person or the one who is giving a speech. Can you guys make that same person to speak another language? Like maybe he's giving a speech in English, but if you make him to speak in a Spanish or some other language, even though he's speaking in English, it's done. People have already done such kind of experiments, and they were successful. But I means for a fun sake, people have done it. But you guys, if you want to, you guys can work on that one also. Like, can you convert it into different kind of a language where the person speaks the different languages, yeah, giving this transcription, but you have to give the transcription for that one. Transcription means that if you take a, for example, if you take a YouTube video, the probably the person is speaking in English, then you have to extract all the text or all the audio into a text format, and then convert that text into the Spanish, and then feed it back to the same audio or a speech synthesizer, which makes a speech audio out of it, and make it sync with that video. You guys get the loop, right? It's not any simple job, but yeah, you guys can try that way also. It's a fun to do. I don't know. You guys are up to that, means want to do that one or not? Yeah, that's all from my side.
Okay. So yes, Aman, you want to add anything, something for task one?
Hi everyone. Sorry for being late. No, I think it's okay. I didn't heard what Komar presents, but I shared with him the presentation. And as you might know, we have just defined some subtasks. It was 3 subtasks. One for trying existing models shared by collaborators, and another subtask for model exploration, which means we will explore some text-to-speech models. And of course, we will work also on a third subtask, which is fine-tune some popular pre-trained models for text-to-speech. So the question that was raised by collaborator is about the data. Should we focus only on data related to soft skills, or should we use all data, and after that we can see? That's all for my parts.
Okay, yes, thank you. Each task team can update their Word document and add the research details to it, and we'll be sharing a Google Drive link. Everyone can update the details of research and what they work on. So for that,
Yahya, just a question,
yes.
because I didn't begin the meeting. Should we expect more details about the problem statements? Because some collaborators raised this question during our first meeting. Should we expect more details on what should be done in this project, or we'll continue like this? For example, present to them last what we have
already
done
have been
last.
discussed, but mine we already have been discussed related to the how we are working on this project. So we are working on, again, I'm trying to explain what we are really working on with this project. So the project whole idea is building a generative AI application. Here we are trying to convert a piece of text into audio and then converting it to video format. And then also we are just looking the possibilities of multilingual part in terms of accent, in terms of language. So this makes the complete set of generative AI application with multimodal and multilingual. So a piece of information or the data can be converted into any form, anytime.
Okay, Yahya, thank you.
If still anyone have any questions, they can just ask me. We can just close the meeting in 5 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, just one more question. Basant, so when we say that in multilingual, what we can do is that, I mean, just a question if this approach is a good idea or not. What if we convert the text from English to a different language, and that language can be used for text to speech? Do you think that will be a good idea?
You can do it. I think, again, you need to check whether the model has been trained for that language or not.
Language,
yeah, because speech
but it's worth
synthesizer.
exploring, right?
Yeah, it's worth exploring. I don't say anything like it's not the bad idea. Like you can try it for the Indian languages. People might be very much interested, or even as a in your resume when you add this project, like for I have explored it for Indian language, that would be quite impressive or useful for you guys. Yeah, you guys can explore it. I don't have any issues.
Thank you.
Okay, if no more questions, we can just conclude the meeting, and just thank you all for joining today's weekly meeting, and start updating and be ready with the weekly meeting presentation, and also schedule early task meetings. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.